Of the thousands of new shops that will open this year, 30% of them will go bust within 12 months. But there is money to be made even in today's tough climate, and James and Kate Cotty want a slice of it.
Cut the crap, right? I'm doing this, I want loads of money. I ain't doing this for any other reason than more money, a better lifestyle.
But they break the golden rules of the high street by setting up their shop in the wrong location and choosing the wrong products.
This is cool and trendy. The stuff you were just pointing out is really naff.
Putting their entire investment at risk.
This is turning into a disaster.
We're a nation of shopaholics. We spend a massive £250 billion in the high street every single year. In fact, we love shopping so much, there's an increasing need for niche shops selling lifestyle items we didn't even know we needed. Shops selling these contemporary pieces are starting to spring up on every high street. But to be distinctive and successful, you've got to have the right products in the right location. 29-year-old James Cotty and his 28-year-old wife Kate believe their distinctive taste will make them pots of cash. Their big vision is to turn this old insurance office on a high street in Hampshire into an emporium for designer goods.
I think the concept for the shop is very much to sell stylish and contemporary products to fashionable people.
To fund their dream, James and Kate are selling their two-bedroom house in Coventry for £170,000, making a profit of £70,000. They're about to gamble the lot on the new venture. But they reckon they're on the fast track to success. And to get there as quickly as possible, James is quitting his 33 grand a year job as a senior engineer at a car factory.
The reason I'm doing this now is I want to try and build something that gives us security and stability, and something where we don't answer to anybody else.
And Kate's also taking the plunge. She's given up a 24 grand a year job as an IT consultant.
You could view a risk as being like a gamble, and they always say you don't gamble what you're not prepared to lose, and so we're prepared to lose everything, basically, aren't we?
Yeah.
But we know that that is the risk we're taking.
The trouble is, James and Kate have no retail experience. They've never even worked in a shop before, and until they can afford their own home, they'll be living at Kate's mum's. But James reckons it won't be for long. Their fortune is on the horizon.
Let's be honest, let's cut the crap, right? I'm doing this, I want loads of money. I ain't doing this for any other reason than more money, a better lifestyle. I want a big house in the country. I don't want to live in a two up, two down for the rest of my life. My measure of success is that I can walk into a Ferrari dealership and buy one. If other people can do it in life, why can't I?
They've chosen to launch their business in Lyndhurst in the heart of the New Forest. It's a charming market town, a tourist magnet, chock full of tea rooms, antique shops and coach tours. A coach stops here every 15 minutes and thousands of pensioners swarm into the town to snap up souvenirs. But James and Kate aren't targeting this market. Their plan is to attract more youthful customers with a carefully selected mix of designer goods.
Just out of interest, what's the price on those?
OK, what's the reference on the back there?
The products we want to sell in the shop are in three very definable categories. There's trendy jewellery, very contemporary artwork, and again, stylish and contemporary homeware products to furnish their houses. We like those things, and we believe other people are going to like those things.
And then there's James's particular passion. He's mad on everything Ferrari and wants it to form a core part of the business. He's keeping his cherished stock under wraps at Operations HQ, Kate's mum's garage.
I want to get to the bottom of this Ferrari obsession that you seem to have.
There's an example of one of the Ferrari clocks we sell.
OK, so this is basically an alarm clock that's got a Ferrari logo on it.
That's right, yeah.
Really. Okay.
But it's got the brushed finish. It's got like the Ferrari red. It's got the carbon fibre look, and it's got the brushed aluminium finish.
But it's still basically just an alarm clock, isn't it?
An upmarket alarm clock.
Yeah. I mean, the point I was just trying to make is that it's the juxtaposition of putting this alongside original artwork, and that's where I think is a bit of a mix and match in your concept.
No, I don't disagree, but one thing we're trying to cater for is...
I just want you to admit, you want to sell this stuff because you love Ferrari.
I do like Ferrari.
I must admit, I take my hat off to you because you're managing to work something you love into your business idea against the grain of the business. That's how it seems to me.
If it doesn't work and it appears not to work from a business point of view, we'll ditch it.
What about your pricing? Because Lyndhurst is full of people getting off coaches and tourists. You know, if your cheapest product is 30 quid, you're probably missing out on a whole load of potential clients.
We believe people out there will spend up to about £60 or £70 off the cuff just because they're there, just because they've seen it, just because it's different. We believe there is a market for that. And so £30 or £40 should be right in, right there.
I just think it'd be a real shame to miss out on all those people who are on coach tours or just passing through. You should sell stuff that is around about a tenner, so they can buy it with the loose money they've got in their pocket, rather than putting it on a credit card. One
thing I don't want to do is devalue the shop. It maybe sounds a bit harsh and maybe not very businesslike, but if they only have a tenner on them, maybe they're not the right people for us.
James is ignoring a basic rule of owning a shop. Don't price yourself out of the market. The trick is to use cheaper mainstream items to entice customers in. Then once they're through the door, they might be tempted by the pricier goods. But I worry about who those customers are going to be in the first place.
A staggering 45% of Lyndhurst's population is over 60, so I'm not convinced with that demographic that a trendy shop selling contemporary items is going to do really well here.
But that's not their only problem. 70% of business on the high street comes from passers-by. But their shops are the wrong end to benefit from browsers. The pavement's impossibly narrow, and hundreds of cars whiz straight past every hour on a hectic one-way system.
I don't understand why you've decided to open in Lyndhurst.
One huge reason is cost. So that was a very big consideration for us.
You obviously know the New Forest area better than I do, but my first impression would be that this is a shop on a main busy road in a small, not very cool town. But if I wanted to buy some really cool jewellery or some contemporary art or even a Ferrari radio with a logo on it, I wouldn't think of going to Lyndhurst. And I'm just wondering how you're going to get over that problem.
With everything you've said there, why down at the end of the high street is there a Ferrari dealership?
Chalk, cheese, Ferrari, you.
We're not trying to establish an association with Ferrari per se. I think it's more an indication of the type of people that live in the New Forest and specifically around Lyndhurst, the sort of level of wealth that there is.
Hopefully you can make this location work, but I don't think it's going to be quite as easy as you initially think.
Maybe not, but it's cheap.
Their location at the wrong end of the high street has certainly dictated the cost of their lease, only £10,000 per year. It means they'll have to work extra hard to attract people here, and that means promoting it creatively.
I think James and Kate have got a lot of potential. I mean, there's a lot to be said for being distinctive and different. Having said that, it's a false economy to buy a cheap lease in the wrong location. I'd have spent more money on a decent lease in a busy location and actually been able to take some money.
But over the next few weeks, it soon becomes clear that what they're selling and what people want to buy are two very different things.
You a Ferrari man?
No.
Oh.
Land Rover.
And takings fail to get off the starting grid as potential punters vote with their feet.
This week we haven't taken anything.
James and Kate Cotty have big ambitions. They want to make their fortune from a chain of shops selling designer goods for the home. They've jacked in their jobs, sold their house, and ploughed all their savings into setting up shop in Lyndhurst, Hampshire. It's now mid-March and the conversion of the insurance office into a funky display space is taking shape. It's costing 10 grand.
Just look up.
The shop opens in a week. And James and Kate are busy taking delivery of their unusual new stock. First up, model Ferraris made of pewter. Price tag, £40.
I consider this to be a piece of artwork in every form that it's got, not just the shape, not just from what it's made from. I mean, even the way it's finished, where it's brushed in places, I think that's a really great thing. Wow, look at those.
Next, the prints. Not exactly what I'd call fine art, but they do have a designer price tag, a whopping £550 each.
Do you like that? It's really colourful, isn't it? Look at that. I'm really impressed by that. I really like those. I think they'll sell one of these a month, to be honest. Easily. I'll be buying it. How many of these have you sold? Oh, pretty much all of them. They're excellent. Even if we don't sell anything, who cares? This is going to be the best gallery in the world. It will just have all the things that people really, really, really love. And to be honest, I think from that, people will buy it. Because I know if I went to a gallery that had these kind of things, I mean, I'm just a normal bloke who likes cars, who used to earn a normal wage. Hey, if other people like this stuff, then they're going to buy it as well.
The day before opening, James and Kate are adding the final touches. They've gone for a name to match their left field products. Reklava, which means publicity in Slovakian.
Oh wow, not bad, not bad.
But unfortunately, publicity has been the last thing on their minds. They've done absolutely nothing to promote their grand opening.
Who do I think is going to come in tomorrow? I don't know. Whoever happens to be walking past, I guess.
I mean, we've had some of the old people come past so far when the window stickers were being put up, and they seemed quite inquisitive about what was going on. So once they're through the door, you know what I mean? They're fair game.
A shop like this should spend time and money making a splash with a big publicity campaign and organising a high-profile launch party. 11th hour leafleting isn't exactly what I had in mind.
This is the first part of our marketing campaign, so it's potentially the easiest and most direct way of getting out what we want, so we will pop it into people's letterboxes. This is just for the people, the local people really of Lyndhurst, so we can see what's happening.
But James is only leafleting other shops, clearly not their target market. It's a missed opportunity. However, it does give him the perfect opportunity to get closer to heaven.
We finally made it. This is at the end of our high street Ferrari garage. I guess we're quite lucky to have it here, to be honest, but I'll pop one through their door. If they want to come and see us in the morning, then cool, it'd be nice to see them. But hopefully I'll be popping down to see them before you know it. Who knows? That's the boss. Let's go.
Today, Reklava opens its doors to the public and the tourists have their purses at the ready. James and Kate have achieved their vision for a light contemporary space, but they've only spent £5,000 on stock. They should have spent twice that to offer a wider choice and make more impact. And I'm still not convinced their selection is right for Lyndhurst. There's artwork from £400, vases from £280, glassware from £90, and of course those cars and clocks from £25. Niche shops offer something different to the mainstream and appeal to a very selective market. If you're going to succeed in this game, you must do your research and target your market.
I mean, today is amazingly important.
Yeah.
It's your first day.
Yep.
Why haven't you gone for a bigger launch? You know, why not make it as busy as soon as possible? Get the money rolling in, you know, get into profitability after a week.
We decided not to do that because we wanted to, like, it's the first time we've done it, feed ourselves in a little bit more slowly and see how things go.
I'm just not totally agreeing with you on the sort of take it easy approach. I can understand why you're doing that, but I just don't think it's best for business. What about this though, eh? This is the shrine to Ferrari, the homage to Enzo.
It's the shrine,
what's it all about?
To be honest, it's the smallest shrine, but...
Is this just so you can stand there and sort of have a little look while you're working on the till?
No, it is nice because I can do that. But as you were saying earlier, I mean, from my point of view, everything in here is very colourful and bright. Personally, I think the way that's set up there is quite, I don't know if charismatic is the right word for a display, but I just think it works.
Okay, customers coming in. What are the extremes? What's the cheapest thing they can buy in here and the most expensive thing in the shop?
Do you want me to do that?
Show me. Let's have a look
I
at
can
the
do
goods.
cheapest. Most affordable thing in the shop that we are doing are these. And that's...
What actually is it for? Is it just decorative or do you do something?
No. It is actually a hot plate stand.
Right.
At a £5.
£5. So that's quite good value at £5, I think.
Exactly, but I think it's still fairly expressive and says something about somebody if it was to be in their kitchen.
Okay, so that's because last time you said there's going to be nothing under £35, I think. So that £5, I mean, I think that's good.
I've got to say, I listened to what you said, and
you listened to something I said.
I did indeed.
Show me the other end. What's the most expensive thing in the shop? If I come in here and I'm dripping with cash and I've got all my platinum credit cards, what's the most expensive thing I can buy?
The most expensive thing? I'm just thinking the panel is about £500 or £600.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a little bet on how many customers you're going to get through the door today.
You want to bet?
Let's have a bet. I'll bet you £1.
Paying customers or just people interested?
Just people through the door.
30. No, 50.
Optimistic. Good. What would you say?
I was going to say 50.
I'll go 25.
Right.
So the bet's on. The odds shorten in my favour when James opens the doors. There's hardly a stampede. A long half-hour passes before the first customer turns up. James launches straight into the hard sell.
But the good thing about that one is being mixed media.
Yes, it's
And we're going to commission them to do some more. It's just, I think it's just a nice way of doing it.
But this customer hardly fits the young, trendy profile they're trying to attract.
You a Ferrari man?
No,
Oh.
Land Rover.
Oh, right.
Nothing here to tempt him, but at least it gave James a chance to try out his selling techniques.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You got the #1 customer.
We have.
How does that feel?
It's pretty good. We opened at 10 and that was about 25 past, so yeah, it's pretty good.
But you need to do more than that. You need to get more than one every half hour.
Kind of came
Brilliant.
naturally.
Yeah.
I should have been doing it years ago.
No, I think it's good. I think you're a good salesman.
One down and another 49 to go. Over the next hour, a crowd of friends and family gather. After a few drinks, they dig deep. And out come the credit cards.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed.
I'm still winning my bet though, because although you've done a few sales, they're all people you know so far, aren't they?
But sales are sales, Martin.
Sales are sales,
As
but
I'm sure you'll agree.
I will agree in terms of our bet. They're your friends, so they don't count as genuine customers to the door. Because you can't rely on your friends to come in every day. They come in for your opening day.
True.
But there's no one in the street right outside the shop. We need to get leafleting in the main part of the town to try and drum up some real business.
All right, this is your leaflet. You know, what are you trying to tell people? What's it about?
It's designed in such a way, I think, as to be very, I think, cosmopolitan.
'Cause
Right?
I live in Brighton. There's a big gay
Yeah.
community in Brighton, and this is the sort of flyer you see for a gay night in a nightclub. You know, what made you choose that image as opposed to anything else you could have put on?
I honestly thought it looked quite fresh, young at heart.
I think the writing bit's good. And I think it's really good that on the front page of it you're saying directly what you do. Jewellery, art, gifts and interiors, you know. I think what we need to do is go out and see
Come
if
on,
these
let's
do
go.
the trick. Hi there, can I give you a leaflet for a new shop that's opened on the left-hand side up there?
It's got our web address anyway, you might want to take it. No problem. Can I leave you one of those? You may be interested, you may not, I don't know.
Jewellery, art and gifts. Up there on the left-hand side.
What are you selling? I haven't got the glass.
All right.
Oh, jewellery.
Jewellery,
Oh, well, yes.
artwork.
In all the businesses that I've ever done, this has been by far and away the best way of advertising. Because it's so direct and personal. And if you're like you or me, you're a person who likes talking to other people. You know, you can get across the information and get a friendly message across at the same time. So, you know, I think this is really worth its weight in gold standing out here doing it.
I think you're quite right, it's a very important thing to do. And on today's performance, I'd probably come out and do it again. I'll give you a leaflet, please, mate, for a new shop opening at the end of the road. Thanks very much.
Back at the shop, James's mum has been keeping a tally on the customers.
Hi, how are things going?
I tell you what, you never believe it. As soon as you went out,
People came in.
I mean it. It might be coincidence that it was the leafleting, but seriously, in the space of about 20 minutes, we had about 4, 5, 6, 7 in, and then there's another 4 just been in. So,
But you haven't sold any Ferrari stuff?
The direct marketing bumped the number of customers up to 37 by the close of play, bang in the middle of what we both predicted.
So how much did you actually take today? I mean, it's pretty important.
I think roughly we've taken about 120 quid today, haven't we? So,
Yeah.
you know, not all bad stuff.
From what I could see, you didn't actually sell anything to a genuine, normal customer that came in. I mean, I know it's your first day, but it's just something to think about. But I'd definitely carry on banging out those flyers, do a mail shot. You know, you just need to get the word out. I think the thing you've got to watch as well, and I've been through this, is that you have this whole stress of getting somewhere open. It's very easy, once you've opened it, to slump back and, you know, sort of suddenly get tired and the adrenaline has stopped. You need to make sure that doesn't happen. You need to maintain the flow of energy into this business beyond this day. That's really important. Yeah.
They've bought the stock, they've spent the money, they've put all the hard work in. It must be really tempting for them now to put their feet up and expect the money to start rolling in. But that's not right. They need to put their foot on the accelerator to get things moving. The guys didn't even have a launch party, so they need to put the work in now and get the business moving. A few days later, it's the May Bank holiday. Lyndhurst experiences a tourist feeding frenzy. You'd be hard pushed not to make money. But only a trickle of tourists are making it over the Reclava threshold.
Hiya, if you need any help with anything, give us a shout. It's really to do with you know, who makes it and stuff. We try and go for individual and unique stuff, so it's all handmade and no problem.
James's sales patter seems to have deserted him.
How much have we taken so far? 70, something like that? 80 quid?
Yeah, 70-ish.
Oh well, that'll do. Come on, let's go home. It's not as busy today, is it?
If they'd bothered to continue the direct marketing, it might be a different story. At 3 p.m, in spite of taking just £79, they closed the shop. I thought James and Kate wanted to become high street millionaires, but at this rate, they'll be lucky to make peanuts. Kate heads home to relax with her favourite magazine, while James has a big date with 2,000 bikers.
There's a lot more to life than working. I've realised that now. A lot more to life than work. Whereas I was working every hour under the sun before, it's different. It's much better to come down here with your friends. I can leave whenever I like now. No one tells me what time to finish work. I finish when I like.
Back in Lyndhurst, the other shopkeepers have struck tourist gold. This is the time when Kate and James should be putting in some hard graft. Over the next few weeks, things go seriously downhill. The few people who do make it into the shop aren't exactly bowled over by what they see.
There was nothing there that I personally would have wanted to take home with me. I didn't feel there was perhaps quite enough choice.
I don't really think that the Ferrari pieces fit in with the rest of the gallery and the fine art pieces.
Probably not things that I would necessarily have in the house.
Some things are very expensive.
Although their cheap lease means James and Kate have low overheads, they still need to average £100 a day to break even. But on some days, they take nothing at all. A shop this size has the potential to turn over around £250,000 a year. To make a success of it, they need to get hungry and inspired. James and Kate Cotty are risking everything on their upmarket designer gift shop in Hampshire. But it's a struggle. They used to earn a combined salary of £57,000, but are now barely breaking even. They've broken two vital rules of owning a shop: setting up in the right location and choosing the right products for their market. Good promotion can overcome a bad location, but my first priority is to remotivate James and Kate and encourage them to rethink their product range. So we've come to one of the country's biggest retail trade shows at Earl's Court. It's the ideal place to spot new trends and source items with high sales potential.
So far, you haven't made any money. £600 a week is not enough to support your business and support you too. What's the average spend per head? Your typical customer, how much are they spending?
Do you know what? I haven't even looked at that.
You should know exactly that sort of figure, and that's so important to your business.
I don't disagree that we should know exactly how many people have bought on either a daily or a weekly basis yet.
Have you thought about the option of actually expanding the sort of amount of the shop that's given over to the lower price stuff, say the bits under £40?
We have a couple of other artists that we're going to put stuff in, and that kind of artwork will be coming in at between £100 and £150.
See, I still think that's too much. You need to sell the stuff that people walking past want, and those are people who probably don't have hundreds of pounds in their pocket. You need to have more stuff that's accessible and affordable.
We would have to find the right items to go in there.
You're living with Kate's mum. You know, nothing wrong with that, but it's not exactly rock and roll, is it? You know, living with your mother-in-law, you want to have this Ferrari lifestyle. How are you going to get that taking £100?
It's vital for James and Kate to find more affordable stuff and cut deals to make a healthy profit back at the shop.
So what are your criteria then for looking today? Just as we wander around,
just looking around, seeing things that are different and unique.
Things that just jump out.
Now these are exactly what we're after. It's glass. The shape of it is unusual. In my eyes, that's pretty abstract. So that fits really well with what we're doing.
How much do you reckon you'd have to sell that for in your shop?
I think you probably get 700, 700. But again, as you say, you wouldn't sell many of them.
So not many of the little old ladies off the coach parties are going to be buying those?
No, they're not. No, you're right. I mean, looking at the price, that's exceptionally high for that kind of thing. But the bowl, yes. I think the bowl is...
So what do you like about that bowl, then?
Well, OK, the thing I really like about that in itself is I like the colours, I like the fact it's glass, and then to have abstract pieces around it for no other reason than you can.
I feel that you're imposing your taste very heavily on the things that are getting put in the shop, rather than using your business brain to determine what will sell.
We're at the wrong show if that's the case. If we want things that are going to sell, we should be selling loads of bread and stuff.
We've walked around here. There's loads of sort of more accessible stuff here, which is still unique. It's a matter of whether you're prepared to take the risk with the reputation of your shop and your money to sell what is effectively a very unusual and very distinctive product that may not be to everyone's taste.
And to me, that is me. It's just the way it is, and I think if it's me, then there's other people out there like me that might like that kind of stuff.
Taste is subjective.
You don't like it?
No.
So much for finding cheaper goods. Their obsession with trying to be distinctive is driving them in the opposite direction, way up the price range.
No, I'll tell you what though, when you say about we choose quite personally, I'll be honest, well, everybody says that, I think I've got quite good taste. Do you know what I really like? These.
So do you like those?
Yeah, I do. That's very artistic, but it's on a different medium, isn't it? It's on glass. You're not overly keen on those, are you?
That's not my favourite thing I've seen today.
Right. You need to spend more time in the shop. We need to open your mind. Like these are cool.
What is cool about that?
What's cool about that? I think that's a lovely little thing. That is really nice. But you don't agree?
No,
you probably
I completely
don't.
disagree with you.
I mean, think, again, that is artistic. You've got brushed stainless against fused glass. That's lovely. How can you not like that?
I don't think they've done any research. They could have visited other shows, designer shops, or looked at style magazines. They're simply out of tune with current trends.
You two can have a look over here. Now, this is on the stall next door. Now, I think this sort of stuff is really cool. It's flock, florals, natural themes. That's the sort of colours and the sort of motifs you're seeing in all the magazines at the moment.
Yep.
You see this in bars, shops, it's all over the place. This is cool and trendy. The stuff you were just pointing out is really naff. I hate to say that, but it's rubbish. I wouldn't be seen dead with it in my house. Absolutely awful.
In your opinion?
Why are you trying to buck the trend, though? Running a business is about selling things that people want to buy.
Why am I trying to buck the trend? Well, if I go with the trend, then I'm the same as everybody else. Why not just look around John Lewis, see what they're doing, take photographs and buy the same thing? I want to be different.
James and Kate haven't ordered anything at all today. They have taken some supplier contact details, but all for exclusive high-end pieces. It's 3 days after our trip to Earl's Court. Trade at Reclava has ground to a halt.
This week we haven't taken anything.
Hitting rock bottom nudges them along the road to enlightenment. They decide to check what they sell for around £30.
8 items, 9 items, 10 items.
And they finally get to grips with what they've actually sold. And about time too. It's the key to their business.
So looking at this, James, I think the majority of stuff we sell is around £30 or round the under
It's 30 to £40
mark.
To me, it is somewhat of a surprise that it's the 30 or £30, region that Martin chose that we seem to have met. That is a surprise to me.
It can either suggest two things: either A, that we've got enough stuff of that price because people are obviously buying it, or maybe Martin would say if we had more stuff for under 30, we'd have sold more.
The cheaper products are the bread and butter of their business. But these pot stands are the only items they sell for under a tenner. And not one piece of pricey artwork or glassware has been sold since they opened. Now, the hard truth of the high street is beginning to hit home. James and Kate have got to act. A business like this needs to adapt to survive.
There isn't any balance there. It's all at the expensive end. Well, we've got a bigger range at the moment, but to be quite honest, we need to narrow that range and bring it all down to a lower level. And that's my opinion. I think we need bits of artwork from between.
Changes kind of what we're doing.
I would like everybody to come into this shop and say, that's 500 quid, yeah, I'll buy it. That's £1,000, yeah, I'll buy it, no problem. But as we found, and as I say, maybe I was too blind to want to see it, from the people we've had through the door, that's not the case.
The next day, they start buying in cheaper artwork from local suppliers.
OK, just out of interest, how much is this going to cost me?
They found more affordable paintings, but whether they're the right style is another matter.
People came in, they looked at the colourful art and said, really nice, closer look at the price.
£775 they went. That's a lot of money.
Exactly. And it was a lot of money, and we were massively conscious.
So basically you've done a cheaper range here.
No, we haven't done a cheaper range. What we've done is we found...
More affordable. Like it, yeah.
And to be quite honest, I'm not just saying it because it's more affordable. It is actually more fitting, I think, with what we do.
Yeah, it's definitely bright.
And that's got an awful lot of interest.
All I'd say about the stuff you have in your shop is that all the art has a certain look to it, you know. I mean, everything is sort of heavy acrylic on canvas, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
what I'm suggesting to you is that it's worth looking around for other styles.
One of my businesses is a shop selling contemporary art. Rather than relying on my own taste, I find out what people like to buy. You soon learn it's there on the balance sheet.
I've got a few bits to show you here.
Excellent. What have you got?
I've got a few pictures. Let's see what you think of this lot. Right, go down there. That. Come and have a look at this. Now, these are typical pictures that I sell in my business in Brighton, which is a gallery. Now, I know it's not exactly the same style as you're going for here, but these are examples of designs which we sell a lot of. A natural theme fits in with the way modern homes are designed. We all have that modern palette of mushroom colours, greens. These natural themes fit in incredibly well with that feel, and that's why we sell these in large numbers. Now, what I've got a problem with the pictures that you're doing is particularly these Ferrari ones, because I don't think anybody, other than like a 10-year-old boy, would want that in a prominent space in their home, you know.
Fine. That's your opinion. My opinion's different.
Okay,
Other people have told us.
how many of those have you sold?
None. How long have we been open? 7 weeks.
At the end of the day, it's who's buying stuff. And if you haven't sold something and it's been in your shop for 7 weeks, I think you need to question whether you're going to sell it at all. And if you're not going to sell it at all, you need to get rid of it.
I'd have to give that some serious thought.
Over the next few days, James and Kate broaden their range of products.
Hello.
How are you?
Not bad. You found it okay?
No problem, man, no problem.
And how much would I sell that for?
That's retailing just under the £300 price bracket.
I think that'd fit pretty well with what we're doing. And what about that piece there that you've brought?
Same sort of price, but it's a bit more sharp, contemporary. The good thing about this guy is we can have that done to any colour at all.
And what would that go for?
Roughly the same price level again.
Oh, right. So, yeah, now we're talking. Now we're talking.
Out go the garish pictures, and in come more muted, gentler styles.
I think the colours, they're absolutely stunning. I really like this.
They're even branching out into soft furnishings.
It's really nicely made. The little details, like the little labels with our sort of logo and the Made in England thing, it's quite, sort of, people quite like that. Little sort of Made in England vibe.
These ones are fresh out of the kiln this morning.
While still clinging onto their taste for all things highly original.
I do like those.
It's now mid-July, the height of the tourist season. But Reclava's still deserted. James and Kate have been so busy experimenting with their stock that they haven't spent any time marketing the place. I've got a plan to help them cast their net wider.
Now, the way I see it, you've got potentially a great shop here, and you're in an amazingly affluent area. You need to come up with some good way of tapping into that market. The New Forest show's coming up soon. If I was you, I'd get a stall down there. It'd be an ideal opportunity to get a Reclava name in the heads of all these affluent people who are potentially your neighbours. Maybe they're not the people of Lyndhurst, but they live all around you, and at the moment they don't know about you, and this would be a great way of spreading the word.
I think it's a pretty good idea, actually.
Even if they don't buy on the days, then hopefully it will put something in their minds and they'll think, oh, well, I'll go back there when I need a painting or when I need to buy a Christmas present. Yeah.
If they're going to get the best out of the show, they've got to grab people's attention.
I would go in with a really heavily discounted promotion, maybe 40% off.
Right.
The reason you've got to do that is, one, it's got to be a wow factor. You've got to attract people and get them to buy stuff. And two, everyone else is going to be doing it.
We'd have to have a pretty serious think about things like 40%, because we don't even make 40% on some of the things.
The thing about this fair, though, there are thousands of people there, but there are also hundreds and hundreds of stalls.
Yes.
So you've got to come up with something that really sucks people in. So I think by doing 5 or 10%, you'll miss the mark.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but I think we've already kind of got a bit of that wow factor with some of the products we've got. I don't think I need to offer, you know, there's my grandma.
I don't think people are dragged in by the discounts. I think if they're passing the stall, they're going to be wowed by the actual products.
If they get their sums right, they can offer big discounts on selected items and still balance the books. A small profit is better than no profit at all. They've rented the stall for £1,500 for 3 days. Fairly steep, but it should pay off by generating publicity and raising Reclava's profile.
I think it's quite important as well the show really takes our brand out into the local area. You're excited about the show?
Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. I think it'd be nice to be in a busy kind of environment and see people's reactions and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I'm quite excited.
It's the big day. James and Kate have packed up Reclava and moved it 5 miles down the road to the New Forest show.
I'd be gutted if we didn't sell anything. To have no repeat business off the back of this, nobody remembering who we are, and not to sell anything over the 3 days, yeah, that'd be annoying more than anything, wouldn't it?
100,000 affluent locals are expected. If they all spend a tenner, there could be £1 million up for grabs. But our main goal today is to promote the shop. In retail, presentation is absolutely key. But James is using Velcro rather than proper fixings to mount the artwork. It's all a bit disorganised. Cutting corners could prove a false economy.
I think I'm a dead man. One of the paintings fallen down and ripped. Shit. The rest that are staying up, we've ended up putting more around it. So in a minute, I'm going to whiz around and just do that.
Okay, you know you've got another hole in that picture there.
Sorry?
There's a hole in that picture.
Oh, no.
So how much is that going to cost you?
Another 100 quid, I guess.
So this show's cost you 150 quid in damaged goods stuff.
Yes. That is dreadful news. That is tragic. Oh. This is turning into a disaster.
The show opens and thousands of people begin flooding in.
If people turn up and we're not ready, we're not ready. To the right, to the right, to the right, to the right.
To the right?
To the right, yeah.
Right there?
Yeah, that'll do. And then push it.
To be fair, this morning didn't get off to the best start because 2 pictures fell on the floor. They were both ripped, probably cost him about £200. And there were things tumbling all over the place. He was getting really stressed. It was a bit chaotic, so not that brilliant. Now, set against that, I think there's something in the region of 100,000 people here over the next 3 days. They've all got money in their pocket. They're all keen to find out about new things. And they're all ideal punters for his shop. So if he can just get them interested, show them what he's about, he'll have a great 3 days.
Everything's finally in place. The latest artwork is certainly less over the top, but I see some of the old gear still creeping through.
I love the way in which even down here, you've got a bit of Ferrari stuff down there.
Cheeky.
So go on then, let's get selling. How are we going to sell to people today? Are we going to do an
break
offer?
the legs.
What about the 40% that I suggested to you?
We're not doing a percentage offer. We've had a good think about that. But what we have come up with is a little show offer, whereby depending on how much you spend.
Reclava free show offer. So spend 100 quid, you get a voucher for 20 quid. Spend 250, you get a voucher for 50.
That's right.
Spend 500, you get a voucher for 100. So basically, you're offering 20% off. A voucher for 20%.
Yes, basically. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
I think James is making a mistake with his voucher system. It's convoluted, and 20% just isn't going to cut it here. As well as catching the eye, offering bold discounts is a ploy used by shopkeepers to shift products which don't sell and to improve cash flow. And everyone's doing it. Except James and Kate.
I mean, this is another example of some really great bargains. I mean, this sideboard's £100 off. This chair's 30 quid off. And I think that sort of sums up this show. People come here expecting a bargain, and they're going to walk past anywhere that's not offering a really good bargain. Now, people are drawn in by these great discounts, and if things are overcomplicated, difficult, or don't make sense straight away, they're just going to walk on and go to the next place.
It's the day of reckoning for James and Kate Cotty. They've come to the New Forest show to drum up business for their struggling shop. There are plenty of distractions for the crowds, so it's crucial to have an effective plan to grab their attention.
The thing I've noticed, there's quite a few stalls, particularly in this tent, who are doing really hot offers.
Yep.
You know, like 50% off, 40% off. And I'm a bit worried that your deal is
What
a
are we
bit...
doing? Well, 30% off.
Yeah, but your deal's a bit complicated. You've got to sort of buy something and then get a voucher.
Oh, hang on. Right, sorry. Are we talking about deals if you buy here today?
Yeah.
Right, so
yeah.
we. I mean, I think some of these are pretty good. 75 quid off that.
I think that's a pretty good deal.
And that's for the three. That's not just for one.
Yeah. I think it might be worth doing those a bit bigger because walking around, people are really shouting about it. They've got great big banners, lots of things in sort of red print that really catch your attention. And yours is quite subtle. And I'm worried that it's a bit too subtle.
Yeah.
James's deals aren't creating enough of a splash to create a big impact on sales today. But we can achieve a lot by getting stuck into some hard promotion.
We do jewellery, we do various home furnishings, very contemporary pieces of glass.
Could I give you a leaflet? We're from Reclava in Lyndhurst. We do sort of art and jewellery, ceramics. You don't like this?
Not enough interest in it sometimes.
It's good to see James and Kate motivated and grafting. This is the kind of thing that will really pay off for them. The stall's actually creating a bit of a buzz.
You've had a chance to look at the Reclava stall.
Yes.
I just wanted to know what your first impressions were.
Quite stunning, actually.
Would you be tempted to go up to Lyndhurst and actually look at the proper shop they've got up there?
Yes, definitely, yes. Knowing now where it is, I think we would make a point of perhaps going back to Lyndhurst, parking and finding it.
What were your first impressions? What did you think of it?
Good.
Yeah, I like it.
Lively, interesting.
And what was it you liked?
Just that it's fresh and different. You get fed up with seeing all the crafts and the old regular things, and he's completely different.
So how do you feel it's gone today?
That's not been too bad, has it?
I mean, you've only sold one item.
And what was it?
It was a car.
It was a Ferrari car?
It was a Ferrari.
Thank God
yeah,
we
well
brought
done.
that. Pay for the damaged painting.
I mean, although you haven't sold very much, the feedback I've observed is absolutely unbelievable. Everyone I've spoken to has had a really positive thing to say about the pictures, about the shop and just the stuff generally.
No, do you know what that... People asked me before, would we be disappointed if we didn't sell a lot at the show? And I've said, not really, because for us, that's only 50% of what we're doing. The other 50%, as you say, is the long-term thing of really getting people to know where we are and who we are and what we do.
After one day, worth doing or not?
If everybody that I've given a leaflet to and that you've spoken to said they're going to come back to the shop, all right, I then need to turn that around into a sale. But if everybody comes back to the shop, yeah, worth doing.
Over the next 2 days, James and Kate turn over £800. Not bad, but I think if they'd gone in with bigger and better discounts, they could have taken several times that amount.
From my point of view, it's been bloody hard work and
it's been hard work.
Knackering, and there's not a lot to show for it at the moment. But you know, maybe in 2
There's
weeks'
not a lot
time, I
financially
think
to show for it today.
No,
but
there's nothing
from
immediate. But hopefully,
yeah, but just think all the good vibes we've been getting from everybody. It's been pretty good.
This has been a crucial turning point for them. They've understood the importance of seeking out their target market.
I think it was really beneficial from a publicity and from an advertising and marketing point of view. Well, that's, you know, that's pretty damn good.
The following week, back at the shop, and there's been a remarkable change. Inspired by the show, James and Kate have revamped the space. When they opened, it was stark and uninviting. But now the place has a warmer, more appealing vibe. They've still kept their distinctive niche ideals, but there's a much wider range of products, hopefully providing something for just about everyone. They've also taken on board the idea of major discounts. At last.
For August, we're knocking 40% off some of the glass. Then we put it up in the windows, something I wouldn't really have done to begin with, because I think I was worried it might look a bit tacky, but I've been convinced otherwise. It does drag people in off the street. Oh, it really does. So from a surprised point of view, I am surprised.
And the shop's now really quite busy. Sourcing better stock and marketing it properly can overcome a challenging location. Things are definitely on the up and their efforts are having a real impact on sales.
Looks like we might better take a few quid out this month. There is 600 to 700 quid there that if we want, we can take as a salary this month. So I'm bloody impressed by that. So we can afford that holiday after all. Close up, let's go.
It's been 5 months since James and Kate embarked on their mission to make it big on the high street. Their different style didn't send sales through the roof, but over the last month they've actually achieved a profit of £1,400. At just £180 a week each, it's not quite the millions they were expecting, but a corner has definitely been turned.
Is there something for you that will say, yeah, I've achieved my dream in business, you know, I've done it, I've made it?
If we can make enough to pay a mortgage and have a nice life where we're doing jobs that we enjoy, then that's pretty damn good in my book.
To see our accounts and the financial trend moving upwards with what we're taking and what people have been saying, and more people are into the shop, and we've managed to reduce the price on a few products by finding them in other places. The shop side of what we're doing is bloody good.
In terms of achieving your original dream, I think you've done a lot towards it. You've done really well. But my personal view is that for you, the real culmination will be purchasing that Ferrari. So in that sense, how far do you think that, how far away is that at the moment, that goal?
Within 5 years, I would want a Ferrari, yes. It's not only a Ferrari, I need to buy another house sometime. And don't get me wrong, I don't want a small house. It's going to need to be something of a reasonable size. So that will be an achievement, but it would just be a cool feeling for me and Kate that we've achieved something we want.
I think James and Kate will really have to graft to make this business work, but at least they're now heading in the right direction. With youth and ambition on their side, it may well be that in a few years' time the dream of a smart home will become a reality, and James can afford that car.